welcome back to the Blackbird Shed. I'm just going to try and update you on the chicks this week. As I promised last week, I'm going to show you more about the fledglings, the Moluccan Mannikins. I'll just show a video of those now, and then we'll move on to a few other birds as well and see how they're developing. So please enjoy. Thank you. Right, that's the Moluccan Mannikins. We've got 3 chicks in there. They've been out the nest quite a bit now. Since the 23rd, it's 31st today. 8 days. Yeah, they're really feathered up well, fully fledged out. That's what they look like when they grow up. We've got another pair of these chicks out in the aviary, which have been there for a few months now, which were their first lot. I'm going to give them their soft food now. So let's show you what I do. So I've got a larder here with mixtures of stuff up the top there: foreign finch seed, canary, parakeet stuff here, and what I'm using as the egg food, or soft food. I just got one of these which I got from a local cheap store, and I'm going to be using some CD. I just get whatever's the cheapest. This is actually canary. Sometimes I use the foreign finch, sometimes I use red canary. It's just as a base really. Yeah, I get probably about, I think about how many birds I've got that need feeding. I've only really got 3 Moluccan Mannikins, 5 chestnut breasted Mannikins. There's a few birds outside of the aviary which need food as well. That's about right for today. I might feed them later on. So I'll just sprinkle that into the bowl, and then I get the other bits. Now this one here is seaweed, and there's chuck a little bit of that in. It's got certain properties. It does say on there actually what the reason why. Complementary feed for cage and aviary birds, dried seaweed, granules. Right, next thing is, it's just some herbs really, but I've just actually got the dried parsley, just a little bit of green in there. Again, just a bit that just covers the, not too much. I haven't got any veggie mix this time, but quite often I'll get some veggie mix. That's more if I've got canaries. With the veggie mix, it will soften down. Right, this is Thrive On, which is made with protein, I believe. It's fish oil, calcium carbonate, soya meat, crude fibre, crude protein. So there's 12, maybe 13% protein, crude oil. There's bits, quite a lot of stuff in there. Calcium, and yeah, put a bit of that in as well. Do tend to spill a lot on the side here, so yeah, I'll just try and get that into the bowl. It's hard when you've only got the 2 hands. Then down here, got some other stuff. So let's got a bit under here. Sometimes I put this in, not always. This is if you can see that, put the flash on. Basically it's black minerals. You have to look that up yourself to see what's in that, but it's don't always put this in. Just sprinkle a little bit of that in there as well. It's just giving them some minerals. Right, in here, this is just a container which I had fish food in. In there I've got some eggshell, which every time I use eggs I put them into the under the grill when I'm cooking food, and they dry out really well. And then I put them in the blender and make this powder. And this is what I put in, and obviously that's calcium. I've also put this in as well, which is apparently good for the immune system. You can see me, right. Problem with this is I get a lot of it, but it's a super blend product, but it does tend to dry out, go hard, get into lumps. So I have to sort of crush it a little bit back down to its powdery content. And I did put a bit of that in as well. If I was colour feeding, I'd put some of this in. Carophil red. But there's a foreign finches, I don't need to do that. Yeah, what else do I put in? Well, because we're feeding foreign finches and they're in the middle of weaning themselves onto millet, etc. I tend to put in a bit of or quite a bit actually, of this stuff. If they were very young babies, I wouldn't put them in because they wouldn't be pecking at this. There's no point, the parents would just deal with it. And mix that up. Right, now we move on to the veg. Sorry for the mess. Let's set this camera up. Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah, that looks good. Right, next thing I put on in, give that a good stir. I'm right-handed, so you can't, just basically mix it evenly. I've got some soak seed here which has been soaking. I just simply do it by, I've got a sieve here. You have to clean the sieve out underneath and, you know, clear the gap, make sure the holes are there for drainage quite regularly. I just chuck a load of the soak seed in and soak it in the bowl, and then a couple of days later I take it out. It's still moist. I can see that some of the seeds are germinating, so I'll put a bit of that in. That goes in. Might drop this in water again, but let's do that just to show you. So what I really do is I'll just chuck it in there like that. You can see that. And I'll just shake it around until it all gets wet. Some of it falls out. I'll put that back in. Give it a bit more water. And it's just getting rid of any sort of smelly stuff. And it's important that there's the drainage, because if this is clogged up, which it does get sometimes the it's too wet and it goes off. You can smell it goes off. The water, you just can't clear the water, and then I have to throw that away then. So I want it to drain quite well, and it's quite warm at the moment. If this was winter time, I'd probably put this in the other room where the heater is. Yeah, so that's in there with the rest of the stuff. Then I've got the fridge here, and in my fridge I've got the two mainstays that I use. I don't use a blender. I use a sieve. Now I have used a small sieve before, but it's a bit of a nightmare, this one here. But I've moved on from that now. This is the one out of the kitchen. I do need to get one that's sort of a medium sized one. Okay. Make sure you can see. Right, so with this I basically get it on the small, not the very tiny one, because this gets clogged up, and not on the big one. I want small pieces. And basically I just tuck it, it goes straight into the bowl. And this is what they'll mainly be eating. And obviously because this is a vegetable matter, it will go off after a couple of days, so every couple of days I have ate most of it normally, but I will change out the trays and remove what's in there, and put fresh stuff in. I've done a hell of a lot of that actually. I'll put the rest of it back in a little. Okay, I've got some more in the kitchen I'll bring out later. And then I cut a bit of broccoli. So I'm going to be putting 2 pieces of broccoli in there. And the good thing about broccoli is I can stick those into one of the little clips in that cage, and that will feed canaries, etc. The foreign finches aren't that bothered about eating the broccoli as it is. It tends to be, you know, it tends to be the canaries that attack that. Then I use the broccoli, and again I'm just really just after the little tiny bits of it, and this gets ate as well, even though they don't eat it. If I just put it in the cage, I'll just put a couple of those in. And the
big sieve like this is really easy. It's all hands-on. I don't have to go and prepare something in the kitchen. I don't have to use an electric blender. And then these I'll throw away. Sometimes I put them in with the canaries. They'll eat anything green. I mean, the plants in the aviary, if there's canaries there, you might as well write them off, because the canaries will destroy everything. Anything green they go for. Okay, and then it's important that I clean this out as much as I can, otherwise that will go rotten and it will all just end up in the soft food mix later on. You want a rotten veg in there. Okay, into that. Now I've got this mix now, so I've got broccoli and carrot. I've got some soap seed, and then I've got the sort of dry mix, which is made out of quite a few things. Just put a little bit more of the soap seed in, and then I'm just going to just fold that. And you can see I'm just folding it. Sometimes I'll sprinkle it like that, and I'm sort of looking to see whether I've got enough seed in there as well at the moment. I want it to be obvious that the birds can see the seed, and then they're more likely to start pecking at it. I've also made probably more than I needed here. Right, and this. Okay, so I've made a pretty good mix. It's quite dark because that black minerals has darkened it up a bit. So I've put some colour feed in there. It would change colour as well. And that's quite a good mix there. That's what I feed anyway. Right, I'll get the other 2 pieces of broccoli, and then we'll go back into the bird room. Okay. So, well, I've got it in my hand. I'll just put the broccoli up here. There's quite a few canaries in here. I'm going to have to put this on the side. I'm putting those broccolis in there, and the canaries will love them. Right, okay. So I'm going to clean out the previous ones first. It's pretty dry, this stuff. You know, it's not rotting away or anything. There's still quite a bit of seed in there. You know, and that would be, they'd definitely eat from that. If you go below the surface, it starts to get a little bit more compacted here, and then below that it could be that it's starting to stick to the container, and it'll start to mould. So that's going in the bin. I'll just make sure that that's cleaned out. I'll give it a proper good clean once a week, but I'm just making sure that there's none of that other stuff in there. And then I get a good spoonful of this. I think how many birds I'm feeding 3. So I've made a little pile like that, and that will flatten down. This is one of the the bases from the water feeders. Yep, so I'll put that in there. That's what they're used to feeding from, so I try to keep the same tray so that they get used to it. Right, I'm going down to the chestnut breasted mannikins. Again, they've been pecking at it. They've ate most of this. Yeah, below the surface again, it's no good. Clean enough for me. Normally I'm doing this, and I haven't really got a lot of time because I'm going to work. Again, I've filled that quite high. This would do them for the whole day really, but I may feed them later on. Okay, that's them. Now we've got the birds that are out in Aviary 2.
which is the bigger aviary. It's the aviary that's made out of two pieces. We've got, let's see if I can show you in a bit. There's, I think, at least 3 starfinch chicks in the cage as we go straight into the aviary. There's 2 well-developed chicks, which I think could be chestnut mannikins, because that's what's sitting on them. They're brown, but I haven't really got the camera in there, so we'll maybe see if we can see that in a bit. 2 of them, they look like they'll be fledging within a week, I think. And then there's possibly another 2 in the nest quite close to the entrance to the shed, the aviary shed entrance, which I think I've showed you before. They're the mystery ones, not sure what they are. You can get a good look at those, maybe I'll see what they are. By the way, in the little nest box right next to it, the golden finch is nesting. So yeah, I've got some food I've got to give them. Now, I don't feed them outside in the aviary because they'll get wet when it rains, etc. I feed them inside here, and then the birds will come in here to feed. Most of their food is in here for the aviary. When I clean out a lot of these cages, there's so much wasted seed. I tend to try and sieve it and keep it. That I'll then quite often take out into the aviary and put that into bowls and stuff. And sometimes it gets out, but it's just nice that they peck at it. Other times, sometimes it germinates, and they can peck at that then as well. So I'm putting quite a bit in there for them. But there's 4 parrot finches in here, and they're very greedy. So that'll get it, hopefully. Now there's definitely some birds in aviary 1, which is attached to this cage. There could be 3 Bengalese, and there's some of the younger birds in there as well, which are fledged, which don't really need this food, but because I'm not sure exactly how many we've got, I will still give them some of this. So I've got a little tray here, a little metal tray, which I'm putting it into. I'll just drop it into the bowl. That gets out really good. Like I say, there's canaries in there, so the canaries will eat it all. But some of it will get used for the birds. Now, there's some birds being fed down there, right? You can hear that. And the little remaining bit I'll just put in there with a pair of parrot finches. That's done. So that's today's feed. It's quite late in the day, so I might not need to feed them later on, but I probably will just have a little look and give them a top up. We're not in a crucial stage at the moment inside the shed. There's no really young babies. It's all stuff that's fledged really, and they're really doing well. Other cola brands are also available. Right. So you've seen the Moluccan cherry finches, sorry, mannikins. Seen the Moluccan Mannikins, and see how well they're doing. You've seen the parents. Now I'm going to go out to the aviary now. I won't show you the mannikins today. I'll do a video on those tomorrow. I'm going to show you see if I can spot the 2 juveniles which are out here in the aviary. Try and get a bit more of a close-up on them, and we'll check out those 3 nests as well. Right. Probably going to have to flip the camera around when we do the nests, because they're a bit hard to see. It's been raining a little bit, so there is an area of the aviary where it's open to the elements. Right, where are these birds? Right. And there you go.
Okay, they've all gone to the other side now. Well, that's good because I can show you these. So I've got a door here, which is what I step into, and that allows me to go into this first part of the aviary or into where I am now. But these two parts are linked with a hole here, which allows the birds to fly back and forward. So this is sort of one big aviary at the moment. The other aviary, there's a partition across here which can be opened, and this door can be opened as well. This can be cordoned off, and there's a door that goes between there and there. So there's quite a few things I can do with the aviary depending on what I want to do with the doors. Right, so we're looking for these mannikins. I can hear some birds being fed there, and it looks like the Moluccan Mannikins have gone inside. Oh well. Now with them, one's much more developed than the other, feathering wise. Right. Okay, we've got chicks I can see. Right, let's move these birds across. Right, they're now in the other side, so what I can do now is I can just shut these two little doors here, and I can stop them from coming in and disturbing us. So I'm going to flip the phone around now. So I'm just going to pause. Right, so let's have a look at this one here. So this one is star finch. What have we got there? Three or four? That one down there. I think that one's okay at the bottom there. There could be four babies there. That's really good. Let's have a look under here then. So this box here has got birds in. This is the one I thought was mannikins. Yeah, they probably are mannikins, but they have got a little bit of a red tail at the back there, which is making me think maybe they could be star finches. Yeah, this is a issue you get when you've got a mixed aviary. Sometimes you don't always get what you think. Now I believe there's birds over there as well, so we'll just get these out of the way while we're here, and then we'll have a look in there, see if we can identify those young. So now I've shut that door off, and I'm now going into the other aviary. I could obviously open up this as well if I wanted, and this could be an L-shaped aviary. Anyway, we're going in. If any birds do fly over into that aviary, I can get them back after. I've just found a dead bird. It was just down there. Now it's an unrung one, so it's a young. I'll have a look at that in a minute. So this is the one that the Bengalese has been in. Flash on. Okay, I checked these out last week. Right, well, I've got some definitely Bengalese in there. There's three, definitely a cinnamon and white and a black and white. And they look quite well developed, don't they? I think there's one at the back as well. So they could be they're over a week old, I would say. Wow, where did that baby come from? So yeah, this is the babe I've just found. So that I would say is a silver bill. I don't know where it came from. It's been in one of these here. It may have been one of the ones I did fledge a couple of weeks back, but I haven't managed to catch and ring. Because it is quite well feathered up. There's more eggs in there. Okay, so now we're going to go into that aviary and we'll check out that one there. I'll keep the camera this way around at the moment. Right, so these are the ones that really didn't know what they were. Remember, they had dark wings and a dark head. Now, there's a golden finch on there. Sorry, it's not focused. She might come off the nest. I'm not bothered if she doesn't. You can just check it in here. More eggs. We've got a lot of eggs in there. Right, so in here we had at least, I think it was 2. So that doesn't disturb her. Oh, no, there's one, wasn't it? Yes, I remember now. Yeah, there was just one in here. Right, one's feeding. Yeah, very hard to tell what that is. Looking at its mouth, inside its mouth, it's not a golden finch. Definitely not. Yeah, so that's it's not a golden finch. Could be a starfinch. Could be a chestnut mannikin. I mean, I've even got spice finches in here, and there's some other odd birds, so could be any of them really. Sometimes you get a surprise. Yeah, so that's that. I still haven't seen the juvenile Moluccans, which is what I came out to show you. Best way of doing it. So just shut that off because they're obviously inside, and then we'll go and find them. Again, when I get to this door, I have to make sure there's no birds have got into this space, otherwise they'll be off. Right, so back into the bird room, and we should find those 2 young Moluccans. Yeah, so these birds are quite flighty. They obviously came in here to escape. Right, there's one there. Okay, so at the moment they're in the middle of the camera. You can see them there. One on the right is really well developed. It's got the really defined. It's got the black throat and head, and it's got too many spots on its chest yet, but it's starting to get there. And then the other one is a little bit behind. I don't know if that gives you an idea as to which one's a male and which one's a female. Well, I will remember that the green ringed one is a bit ahead. It does turn to a cock, so I might use that as a guideline to sex them in the future, because they are identical when they grow up. Right, camera out now. Don't disturb them anymore. And I will, yeah, I'll call it a day. So I'll try and do a little video on the. I won't do such a detailed one about the outdoor aviary, but I'll try and do another one tomorrow just on the chestnut-breasted mannikins, so you can see how they're getting on. But that was the Moluccans, and let's have a look at them before we go. So these are there they are. Oh, they're in there. There you go. They're doing really well. Don't know if there are any more eggs yet. Let's have a look. Not yet, no. Yeah, I'll do a video on the chestnut mannikins tomorrow, and I'll try to remember to do an update on these golden finches down here, this pair. You can only see the hen at the moment. That's cracking news, because I believe they're on 5 eggs and they're sitting, taking it in turns, so that's good. We'll have a look in there. So thanks very much for watching. Please hit the like button. If you do like what you see, please subscribe, and yeah, look after your birds, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, take care, bye.